Hello everyone and welcome to another one of our training videos. In these videos we've been looking at different ways to enhance and improve your leadership skills. The area we're going to talk about today is public speaking. Now this could be speaking in public in relation to presenting, communicating with your teams, with your company, with clients, or it could be where you're speaking on stage at a conference. Now, if you've been following our various videos and indeed you like and appreciate this one, then please like, share, comment, and also subscribe to this particular YouTube. On this basis, you'll be able to follow us and engage with what we are doing. So if you are not aware, public speaking or speaking in public is one of the most fearful experiences a human being can have. In fact, in various studies that have been done, it shows that somewhere between 80 and 90% of people, so between 8 and 9 people out of 10, has a fear of speaking in public. And indeed, in some studies, it has been shown that people would rather die than speak. That's pretty dramatic, isn't it? Let's face it, not an easy thing, but so important in life in general, but if you are in a leadership role. My name is Chris Igwe. I have over 35 years experience. I've lived and worked in 5 different countries and managed teams across Europe, Middle East and Africa. What I've been able to do is to create, grow and lead teams across these various markets. So let's get going. You might think to yourself, well, I don't want to be like Chris or anybody else you know who's a public speaker or speaks in public, or who is indeed one of the great speakers in the world, you know, a Zig Ziglar, for example, that you might have heard of, or Anthony Robbins. You don't want to be like them, but that's not the key issue here. The key issue is about being able to confidently communicate your message, whatever that is. You want to engage in providing a dream, a vision. You want to engage in a new project, in a new team, in a new investment. You want to attract investment. You want new clients. You want to manage your existing clients. It doesn't matter what you're doing and how you're doing it. The fact is that you want to and need to communicate. And in a previous video, we talked about communication. This is a whole different aspect of communication, an important one, but very different. And so I'm going to take you through 6 aspects, strategies, thoughts to help you in this area of managing public speaking. But let me first start off by saying, oh, you say, well, Chris can do this. I'm not him. Let me tell you that I didn't get here just by jumping on some bandwagon or train and being able to speak. You may not believe this, but I was incredibly shy. I was incredibly timid. At school, I would never want to be called up to answer a question, even if I didn't put my hand up, or even if I knew the answer. I didn't want to be called, and I didn't want to be asked to respond to a question. I was so shy. But over time, you learn to overcome it. Another example, my daughter, Olivia, who you may follow or see on social media. She herself will say when she started speaking on stage and leading her team and speaking in the way that she does 7 years ago maybe, she was incredibly shy, timid, was not comfortable on stage, but she worked through it and she is an amazing presenter today. So it doesn't matter whether you've got experience like me or my daughter who has just started on that journey, you can still do it. So what are the examples of strategies? Well, let's start off with this one. The first one is practice. Practice, practice, practice. What do I mean by practice? Well, let's start off by the very basic start. You say to yourself, you look in the mirror and you say whatever it is you want to say, and you keep repeating it continually until such time as it becomes ingrained in how you want to present. Yes, it's only you in your bathroom or bedroom or whatever, but you've got to practice. And one of the easiest ways of doing it is take a subject which you know by heart, and very often it's the subject of our life. Take that subject, put passion into it, put desire, and that will help break down some of the concerns that you have about speaking in public, because you'll know yourself, you'll know your story. So it could be, for me, for example, I want to practice. I want to tell you that my story began born and raised in Nigeria, left Nigeria after a terrible war at the time. The whole family left, moved to the UK with nothing. We literally started from scratch. But I had a vision and an idea that I wanted to run my own company. Even from a young age, I knew I wanted to run my own company. Today, that's exactly what I do. I didn't get there on a straight path. It was a different route that I took, but I got there. You see, in that very short area, on the one hand, you're comfortable with it. So you're explaining it as if you're explaining it to somebody else, but it's talking to you and you feel comfortable. So the first thing is you've got to practice, practice, practice. I know that practice definitely makes perfect, but perfection is something you need to strive for. So it takes practice, but that's what you can get to do. The second is, in public speaking, whether it's speaking in public or public speaking, who is the audience? Because if you know the audience, you are then able to focus down on what it is you want to deliver and know how to deliver it. So by who is the audience, I might mean if you're in a meeting with a board, who are the people, who are the top executives you want to speak to? Who is the person in the room whose attention you want to get? If you're doing research or you've done some research, who is it you want to have that information shared with? So your audience needs to be identified. If you're going on stage and you're speaking in a conference, you'll also want to know what are the demographics of the group? Where do the individuals come from? What is their background? What is their history? What do they want to have as a takeaway? You have to learn all these things so that you can then speak clearly to them as they are in the audience. So that's the other one. It's the ability to know the audience. Another one is fear. And you may say, well, yeah, we all have fear. Well, we do. And to be honest, fear is good. Fear is important because it drives the adrenaline in your body that enables you to be on edge. And on edge means cutting edge. It means absolutely focused. It means absolutely aware of all the things. But you want to, as I put here, you want to turn that fear into something positive. You don't want this fear to cripple you. You don't want this fear to have you shut down. You want to say, I fear, but I'm going to use that fear and channel it into a positive energy and a positive outcome. Some of the greatest speakers that I've been able to see and some I've connected with, I know that no matter how many years they've been speaking, it's not so much fear necessarily, but it's the adrenaline, it's the preparation, it's just making, it puts you on edge, just gives you that little extra. So fear is okay, but take that fear and channel it in the way that you should. The power of one is the next one. What do I mean by the power of one? Well, it's not just one necessarily, but it could be the power of a few. But what I mean is whether you're standing doing a presentation to a small group of people, which is easier, that's different, but focus on whoever the key person, the most senior person in that group is, the one you want to speak to. That's the person you want to make eye contact with. But where you're doing a presentation or you're doing a keynote or moderating a conference in a larger environment, the power of one is the fact that you focus on one or a few people in the audience. Why? Because they're the ones who are going to give you what you're looking for is the positive energy. You want people who are nodding, or you can see, insofar as you can, their eyes, their body language that's saying, I like this guy or I like this woman. I like what they're saying. I can hear it. So you want to find those positive individuals in the room who are engaging with you. Now, one important thing to be careful of is when you're communicating in public, do not look only at the front row where generally the most senior people in that group will be or that audience. Yes, you want to connect with them, but don't forget the people at the back of the room. They also want to know that you're connecting with them. There may be people in the balcony. I remember when I was doing my first time I was doing a very large presentation to 2,500 people. I remembered that particular, because I was going, I had the fear had the practice, I'd done it, but I was like, how do I do this? And I remembered what I'd learned, which is the power of one or the power of a few, and just focus on those few. And as it turned out for that presentation, I had my team, and my team were just rooting for me. So I focused. They were a bit further back because they were not allowed to sit at the front. So I was focusing on them because I knew they were there, and they were sending me positive vibes and positive energy. So the power of one, finding one or a few people who you are going to speak to. My little images here, smile. Smiling is so important. How many times have you seen people presenting? They're so deep into their subject, or they're speaking on a particular issue, and they're maybe just deadpan, maybe they're not fun, maybe there's no expression. You've got to smile, because that smile is not just external, it's internal. It comes from the inside. People can sense it, people can see it. It doesn't have to be a silly smile. It doesn't have to be seeing all your white teeth. It's just showing people that you care. You're sending them positive energy and they're sending it back to you. So it's your whole body that is smiling. You take away that nervousness. You're just engaged, you're flowing, you're enjoying the moment, the experience. That's what communicating and speaking in public is all about. It's about sharing something that you enjoy sharing. And the final one is coaching and training. Now here I'm going to make a shout out for a great organization in the US called the Bill Gove Speech Workshop. And that is just for me a wonderful company. Bill Gove, who was considered the father of the professional speaking industry, passed away many years ago now. But I had the immense privilege of, during an event which I was attending in Hawaii, Bill was one of those who was there, and he gave us a half-day short session on his techniques for public speaking. The techniques he's developed have been used by many around the world who are some of the top speakers in the world. I had the privilege of learning with Bill and then went on with his business partner and friend, Steve Siebold, who's become a friend of ours as well. And what they teach is just unique. It's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it, and equally various other techniques in there. The point is, it'll take you a while to learn. Like anything, you've got to learn step by step, but you have to consider being coached, being trained, doing a particular program, and there are many others that you may think of out there. So here are the top 6 items for me when it comes to successful public speaking. And I've been on stages, I've done keynotes, I've done moderating of panel sessions, and I always use these and many more. Like anything, you can't put it all into one short video. Practice, practice, practice. Practice with a story that you know, which is about you preferably, or your family, or something that you want to anchor. You use that and practice in the mirror. Practice in front of other people as well. The audience, who is the audience? What exactly are you going to be saying to them? What do you want to communicate? Fear, you'll have fear, but use it and turn it into something positive, make the adrenaline rush and feel that you're communicating even more vibrantly and powerfully. The power of one or the power of a few. Who are the few people in the audience that you want to pick out, focus on, because they're the ones who are going to give you that feedback of positive energy. Smile, smile, smile. The whole body, you need to engage visually, facially, the words you use, how you say it, so that people are also engaged. And then coaching. You want to take a coaching program of some description that you've got to learn through the process. So if this video has spoken to you, which I hope it has, then please, like I said, like, share, comment, go to the website, subscribe to this, and you'll see other videos coming up. In the meantime, I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you.